Hello everyone, I'm Tiffany and we have a big market prep day today. We are prepping for two markets. I have one market in 2 days and one market in 2 weeks. So we are prepping all of the cookie dough for both markets today. I'll be freezing what is used for in 2 weeks and putting in the fridge for 2 days, and we'll be baking it tomorrow. I need to write down everything that we're making today, so come along. It's going to be a long ride. We already have dishes piling up because we're a family of 5 and that's just what happens. I do have a crazy cat back there who is very interested in the window. Hopefully she'll stay out of my way, but yeah, let's go ahead. Let's make a list of everything we are making. Ignore the spelling, pregnancy brain. We need to make 3 batches of the chocolate chip cookies, 1 batch of brown sugar, 3 batches of raspberry rye, 3 batches of double chocolate espresso, 2 batches of oatmeal raisin, 2 batches of brownie, 2 batches of funfetti, and I don't think I'm making anything else. At least I haven't decided right now that I am. Probably won't, but yeah, this is 7 different types of cookies that we need to get started on. I'm gonna pull out the mixer, I'm gonna put my hair up, and let's get started.
So one of the reasons that I am prepping cookie dough and I will be freezing it is really just to save me time in the future. This summer, we are doing 2 farmers markets pretty much a week. So having extra cookie dough on hand will definitely help me out and just help me stay ahead. And I'm hoping then I will only have to prep like 1 or 2 cookies a week rather than all 7 different cookies every single week. I think that'll just help me save a lot of time. Here we are making the brown butter chocolate chip cookie. If you guys want this recipe, I don't actually think I shared it, so never mind. But I did make a video on this, and yeah, it's actually my first video with baking, and I think these cookies are phenomenal. I always get so much people just love it at shows. They always come back. So because this is one of my best selling cookies, I am tripling the batch. Normally I would double it for a show, but I am not sure how this show nor the next show will do. So I am only gonna triple it because I don't want too much cookie dough or cookies left over that my husband and I have to eat. I mean, they're good at first, but if you have to eat like 3 cookies a day for multiple weeks to get through all of the cookies that you made, it gets a little bit annoying. Just putting that out there. So one of my favorite things when making cookie dough is this magic that is about to happen, where it goes from not looking like cookie dough to, oh yeah, I can tell that that is cookie dough, and it is amazing.
Okay, raspberry rye cookies are my best seller, so I'm gonna take you through the recipe. It is not my recipe, it is in this cookbook. Let me see if I can get it. This cookbook right here, 100 Cookies. I love this cookie. I love this recipe book. Most of my recipes for my cookies come out of this recipe book. So if you are in the market for a new cookbook or cookie book, I highly recommend this book. We are following the raspberry rye cookies. I will be giving you the ingredients, but not the measurements. So first things first, we are tripling this recipe. I've had all 6 sticks of butter on the counter now for a couple of hours. I'm hoping they're room temp. We took some of them out of the freezer this morning, and I had to buy some from the store this morning because I thought I had more butter than we could find. I definitely think the butter could still be softer, but it's much softer than what I normally work with it at, so I think that is definitely a win. Okay, we are gonna let this mix for about a minute to let it cream. And then we're gonna add in the sugars. We have brown sugar and white sugar. Again, we're tripling this recipe. I promise it's not that much sugar. It just looks like a lot because we're tripling. Okay, this is the best the butter has ever looked. I'm gonna grab my phone because I only have one camera, and I will show you what it's looking like. It is nice and creamy. Sorry, the lighting is kind of bad, but nice and creamy in there. We're gonna add in the sugar and continue with the recipe. I'm gonna put the mixer on low, dump in the sugar. Okay, the mixture is looking nice and light and fluffy. I am going to add in our eggs and the vanilla extract, and then we will give it a mix together all of the dry ingredients, and that'll go in here as well, and I hope it all will fit. I'm not very hopeful. It's already pretty full, so we'll see. We might be doing a lot of hand mixing, so.
This is one of my favorite cookies, and it gets so much attention at shows. I think people see the frozen fruit on top, which I will show a picture of the completed cookie very shortly here. But people just see that fruit and they're like, oh my goodness, this looks amazing. And then they read the flavor, and yeah, it is definitely our best seller, which is very surprising to me. I was expecting the chocolate chip cookie to be, but apparently the raspberry rye cookie is even better than the chocolate chip. But yeah, later in the video, I will show you guys how I package and label everything. If you guys have any suggestions on my packaging or labeling, please do let me know. I am all ears. I always am looking for a way to present my items in a better way. And yeah, but here is all of the dry mix done and going into the mixer here. Seriously, if you watch close enough, you can see the flour cloud back out of the bowl. Oh my goodness, this was crazy.
Okay, I think it is fully mixed. That was not a fun process. It kept clouding up, but hey, it is what it is. Now I am going to grab a container that I got for the dough. We're gonna put the dough in the fridge and we'll portion it up maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Well, for sure, it has to get done before we bake them, so very soon. But the only other thing with this recipe is I like to double the cookies, the size of the cookies, because I am selling them. So the recipe calls for 1.5 ounce cookies. I up that to 3 ounce cookies. I just think it looks better to sell right before you put them in the oven. I like to put frozen raspberries on the top. The recipe calls for fresh, but I like to do frozen just because there is a little bit more breakdown that is already done because they're frozen. So I just put 3 or 4 raspberries on each cookie, and then when it bakes, it spreads. Insert a picture or a video now. And yeah, you can see it is a beautiful cookie. I love it. But yeah, I'm gonna clean this up, and then we are going to fast prep the rest of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cookies that we have left to do. And I'm hoping I can get them all done in 2 hours.
So instead of portioning out the cookies right away, just for an aesthetic picture that I didn't even take, I wanted to put all of the cookie dough in these containers and then portion it later. And you can see here I am struggling to even get it into the container. That should have been my sign to not use the containers. But hey, you live and you learn. But yeah, I ended up getting all of the cookies made. I did cut the brownie cookie, which I will talk about in a little bit. But yeah, I think the cookie dough went very well. I got everything done in a good amount of time. If I could do this day again, I would probably portion out some of the cookies, because let me tell you, I did not have fun the next day portioning out the cookies and baking them all. I thought the portioning was going to be so much faster than it was. And that is completely my fault. I think next time I will be portioning all of them, or at least half of them, right away. And yeah, but here is the double chocolate chip cookie dough done. You'll notice I did not add any chocolate chips to the brown butter chocolate chip or the double espresso. And that is because whenever I add chocolate chips to my mixtures, the first cookies don't have any chocolate chips, and then the later cookies get all of the chocolate chips. And so I'm really trying to measure that out. I want to make sure every cookie has the same amount of chocolate chips. So I did measure that out, as you will see a little bit later in this video. And yeah, I think it worked well. But here we are, just packaging up the last cookies that we are making for the day.
All right, that's going to be it for day 1 of market prep. I got all of the cookies made except for the brownie. I decided to cut the brownie cookie because I do not have enough butter. I'm not running to the store for butter. I'm just going to cut it. We already have a chocolate cookie, so I think that will be fine. I got everything else made. I am going to now clean this mess up, get a couple loads of dishes done, and my husband is going to make some hot sauce tonight, and then tomorrow I will portion and bake all of the cookies. So we will see you guys in the morning, ready to bake a bunch of cookies. Good morning. I have my coffee. I am ready to bake. I have a lot to do today. We need to portion and bake all of the cookies. I do have a little bit of a system here. I will kind of go over it again later in the video, but this is kind of what I've got going on. Ignore the mess. We buy way too many groceries and just have a lot going on right now. But basically, I'm gonna have 3 different things of parchment paper here laid out on the counter. Kitten, now I've got to re-sanitize. And then the racks, I only have 2 racks. I'm gonna have 3 trays in the oven, but I'm gonna have 2 cooling racks, and then as soon as they are off of the cooling racks, I'm going to be putting them in their heat sealed bags, and then into a basket, which I need to go find a basket. And yeah, but that's kind of the system. Each tray, or 3 trays, will be in the oven for about 20 minutes. So I'm hoping that I can get ahead on portioning, and then once I'm done portioning, I'll be able to heat seal all of the cookies. Hopefully my plan works out. If it doesn't, you'll find out. Also, we are still behind on dishes. Okay, kitten. We are still behind on dishes. I will hopefully get caught up on those as well today, in between baking these cookies. I'm only going to be baking about half of what we made yesterday, and I'll be freezing the rest for the market in 2 weeks.
So my plan totally backfired. I did not take these cookie doughs out of the fridge soon enough. You'll see very shortly here. I am pulling all of the cookie dough out because I very quickly realized that I made a huge mistake, and the only way to fix it is by pulling out what we have ready, and hopefully it warms up in time and it's not a horrible mess for me throughout the day. Spoiler alert, it is a not fun process today. All right, we got 13 funfettis, or unbirthday cakes. I think that's what the recipe calls them and what I have them labeled as, but I just think of them as funfetti. We got 13. I'm only going to be baking 6. I'm going to save this other 7 for the market in 2 weeks. Okay, I'm actually going to get these 6 in the oven right away. That took me about 11 minutes. So I'm hoping that when I have the next 3 trays ready, these will be ready to come out of the oven. And then I can get them extra cooling space. So I'm gonna put these in the oven because the oven is ready, and let's get started. Okay, we got 13 of this cookie. Once again, I'm gonna put 7 in the bag and only bake 6 today, because this market is smaller than the one in 2 weeks. Since I do sell all of my cookies, I do weigh them, and I will weigh every cookie to be between 2.9 ounces and 3.1 ounces. And that just, really makes me feel confident that all of my cookies are a good size for everyone, and there isn't a small cookie that someone is paying nearly $4 for. It just helps me feel better. This is also my first time weighing out the chocolate chips per cookie rather than mixing the chocolate chips into the batter. I don't know how I feel about it. Okay, I have 2 trays of 12. I could fit more on a tray, but honestly, the dough is just too cold for me to work with. So I'm gonna stop this now. I'm gonna work on another cookie, and then hopefully by the end of the day, these are a lot easier to work with, and I can finish portioning them up. So this is what my heat sealing process is. I basically just take a cookie, I put it in these bags that I got from Amazon. If you guys want to know the bag, let me know in the comments. And the heat sealer I also got from Amazon. But it is super simple. All you have to do is plug it in, and you put it on a setting. I think I have it set for 4 seconds, and it heat seals it, and it is a beautiful cookie. Here are all of the funfetti made and ready to go. And immediately jumping back into portioning more cookies, I was really hoping that this whole portioning cookies thing would like take an hour, but I underestimated how much time it would take. Definitely, I don't want to do this again. Like, thinking about this day just makes my anxiety skyrocket. Here is me taking cookies off of the tray. I do take every single sheet off of the tray immediately. One, to stop the baking of the cookie, and two, to free up the pan because I only have 3 pans. Jumping back to heat sealing, that is basically what this day was portion, bake, cool, package. And yeah, it was definitely a busy day. I did not expect this day to be a harder day than my baking day.
Okay, we are over halfway through. I just pulled out the oatmeal raisin. I'm about to package up the double chocolate chip. And I did already the funfetti and the brown sugar. So we're in a really good spot. I was really struggling with the dark double chocolate. So what I did, so that hopefully I don't hate myself when I'm doing the chocolate chip and the raspberry rye, is I cut them up so that they can warm up faster, because I was finding that it is just too hard. I didn't take them out of the fridge this morning when I should have. So it is what it is. You'll live and you learn. But now I know that I need to pull them out more than 5 minutes before I start making the cookies. So I'm gonna take a lunch break after I get some of the double chocolate chip cookies packed. I've got chicken in the oven for us all. And then we're gonna continue this baking process, really hoping I can finish it around 2 o'clock, but I'm not sure if that's gonna happen with lunch break. We'll see. Okay, we got 18 raspberry rye cookies going in. I'm not sure if this is half yet. I still have about half of the dough left to portion. So I'm thinking this is, I'm going to put the frozen raspberries on now. And I did put an indent in all of the cookies in the middle to try to contain some of the raspberry juice and the raspberries, at least until it spreads out in the baking.
That little dimple trick worked wonders. If you make these cookies, highly recommend putting the rest of these cookies in the freezer. I am so glad that I got all of these done, because I don't want to do all of that portioning again. I know I've said that a couple of times, but it is so true. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to figure out a good system for this summer. If anyone has any tips, please, please, please let me know, because it will be a long summer if I have to do this a couple times a week, or even like once a week. It's going to be a lot, and I'm not looking forward to that. But on to some more positive statements. I am really looking forward to gardening this summer. I really want to give a garden update. I did start some seeds way back in like December, but don't worry, they didn't like oversprout or anything. They're Reaper peppers, so they took a long time to germinate. And I have some other peppers and some tomatoes. If you guys want to see an update, let me know. I can definitely make that possible. And if not, I am planning on doing some gardening videos very soon.
Okay, I just portioned out the chocolate chip cookies that I am doing today, and I'm gonna do the rest of them in 2 weeks for the next market, and the double chocolate chip ones. I just can't do any more portioning. I have a majority of them ready to go though, so I'm pretty proud of all of the work that I did today. I will show you guys all of the cookies here once I clean up the counters and get all of the labels on. And yeah, so I'll be right back.
Here are the brown butter chocolate chip cookies and the raspberry rye cookies. Before they get packaged, all we have left to do is package them and then get ready for the sale tomorrow. I am super excited. I unfortunately did not get much footage from the sale, but I do have recaps and numbers, so definitely stay tuned if you want to know how the sale did. It was definitely better than our February show, so stay tuned. I'm excited. And yeah, that is about it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Unfortunately, I didn't get like a really good shot with all of the cookies because I was a little rushed because I was not planning on this taking this long. And yeah, but we do have a market in 2 weeks, like I said, and I'm hoping that market season will do great this year. If you are looking forward to market season, gardening, all things outdoors this summer, definitely like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I'm super excited, and we will catch you in the next one.